Welcome back to Bear Download on ChicagoTribune.com. I'm Dan Wiederer, joined by Rich Campbell here on day 2 of the NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium under the watchful eye of Peyton Manning, it appears.
He's calling Omaha right now.
He's calling the Omaha shots. We'll see if we can do a little better than Peyton did at the Super Bowl. But yesterday we talked a lot about the Bears' defense. Wanted to shift gears and talk a little bit about offense. Obviously, it's an offense that put up record-breaking stats in 2013, but they know there's room for improvement. And Mark Trestman acknowledged yesterday that even with Jay Cutler signed and even with that offensive line mostly intact, heading into 2014, there's some things they want to address.
Right, and one of them that Phil Emery mentioned yesterday was pacing. They want to be able to put pressure on opposing defenses with an up-tempo. You see a lot of teams in the NFL emphasizing this type of approach, and I think when you're in the first year of a scheme, you're really trying to master the basics of it. And I think you sensed this from Mark Trestman yesterday, that now they can sort of advance in the offense a little bit. Focus on the things that they did well and do those faster, and who knows what they could produce next season. Obviously, they were a very healthy offense in 2013, aside from the quarterback. But in terms of a schematic standpoint and approach, they want to push it and push what they did well.
And this is the giant riddle with Jay Cutler. He's signed to the long-term deal now. He gets continuity. He gets a chance to stay in a system, to progress in that system, to evolve in that system, and the Bears are expecting dividends from that. Jay Cutler is expecting dividends from that, and it's going to be a great experiment to chronicle.
Right. Mark Trestman, when we spoke to him about Jay Cutler, said that he needs to work on his fundamentals in the pocket. I mean, this is stuff that every quarterback has to work on, but particularly ball security and making his reads. There's the football IQ is there. We know Jay's got the arm strength, so the finer points of his game he can elevate with the continuity. That's the hope. And also, when you talk about continuity, you're also looking at the backup quarterback spot at this point. Will the Bears bring back Josh McCown? It seems like there's interest on both sides. It's going to be a financial decision, but there's a lot of reasons to believe that this is going to work out for the Bears.
We keep talking about those expiring contracts, McCown being one of them, but all these expiring contracts come around. Both sides can say we're interested in staying together. You got to make all those numbers work for all these different guys. There's 23 guys that'll hit unrestricted free agency on March 11th if the Bears don't come to a deal. Another guy, as you mentioned, Roberto Garza. He's that anchor of that offensive line. They don't really have a replacement plan behind him right now. So you'd expect them to be able to do some things, to keep Garza around, maybe on one final one-year deal, bringing a guy to develop behind him. But they need that because that continuity on the offensive line was a big reason that the offense took a big step forward.
Right, and if you're the Bears, maybe you hope that some of your older players like Josh McCown and Roberto Garza don't really feel like starting over with a new organization. They want to stay here, and if the Bears are really going to be tight with the financial offer, that maybe those guys are willing to accept less money in order to sustain continuity for themselves. It just is all going to play out over the next couple of weeks.
And they got a glimpse at how enjoyable that could be last year when your offense is scoring points and you can be productive and you can continue to build on that. It's going to be really interesting to watch. The last storyline to keep an eye on, we watched Alshon Jeffrey emerge from sort of an unknown question mark at the start of 2013 into a Pro Bowler by year's end. The strides he made were built in the offseason. At this time of year last year, going down to Florida to work out with Brandon Marshall, learning how to take care of his body, learning how to be a professional in the way he prepares. This year, Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey brought Marquise Wilson down, and so now the question is, can he have maybe not the same sort of breakthrough, but a breakthrough like Jeffrey had a year ago?
Right, I think it would be pretty ambitious to expect something like that, but I think the point is that because the Bears have done things that worked, whether it's schematically or in their preparation, you stick to what works. And so you start to build that process. And I think when you look at it in terms of building long-term success and really establishing yourself at that high level, and really maintaining this level of offensive prowess, these are great steps. And it'll be interesting to hear from Marquise when the time is right, what he was able to take away from that and how the Bears can use him. The Bears wanted to use Marquise as much as possible last year, but he's blocked by 2 Pro Bowl receivers. So
and a veteran like Earl Bennett.
Exactly.
A lot of those reps.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see how some of those guys evolve. As we focus a lot on defense, the offense, and Mark Trestman emphasized this, can still do a lot better. There's still times when they left points on the field in the red zone, most specifically, and so they have a proper perspective on what they did well and how they can improve.
The Combine rolls on from Indianapolis through the weekend and into next week. Free agency less than 2 weeks away now, or just a little more than 2 weeks away now. Stay with us at ChicagoTribune.com to follow all of it. We'll be here. That'll do it for this edition of Bear Download.